Bitcoin new all-time highs incoming? I'm not too sure, but there are two things that I'm going to talk about that historically point to Bitcoin runs occurring. So in today's video, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about the L1 tokens. We're going to talk about those two things. We're going to talk about the bullish case and the bearish case. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and let's get started. Bitcoin sets up lowest weekly close since early March as fourth red candle looms. So basically, we had 4 weekly red candles in a row. 4 weekly red candles in a row would be a rare event. It hasn't happened in the past 2 years, but after it happened, we ended up going to all-time highs. So let's take a look. So here's the last time it happened, June 2020, 4 red candles, and then boom, new all-time highs. But this obviously isn't an automatic guarantee that we're going to make new all-time highs every single time we have 4 red candles, because back here in October, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 red candles. Obviously, we didn't make a new all-time high. And then over here, back in September, 1, 2, 3, 4 red candles. But each time after the 4th, we ended up bouncing. And then right here, 4 red candles, we ended up bouncing. So it's not a guarantee we're going to make a huge bounce, but the week after the 4 red candles should be green. So that is something that we're going to be taking a look at right now on Bitcoin. We can see we have a baby. We have a baby green candle so far. And there's still some more room to the upside. Let's see how we close. Historically, we should be closing green for the week, especially if the entire week now is going to be very turbulent for earnings in the stock market and everything like that. It is a good sign that historically we should be closing green during this week after a large move to the downside. All right, so there's this for that. Let's take a look at the second reason why we might have a run up. Real quick, this isn't one of the reasons, but let's just quickly look at the fear and greed index. When everyone is extremely greedy, that's not a time to buy. You buy when everyone is extremely fearful. And that is exactly what we have right now. Last week, it was all extreme fear today, extreme fear yesterday. And yeah, it's a good sign to buy dips when no one else wants to. Okay, back to the reason. Bitcoin funding rates show demand to short BTC as 40K becomes the resistance. I think this might just be some clickbait because I'm not sure if the funding rates show that. But regardless, majority of traders expect fresh Bitcoin price losses after a difficult end to the week. Blah, 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 blah. Extreme fear accompanies Bitcoin descent to 39,200. All right. This is a very, very interesting chart. So basically, this is a very, very interesting chart. What we see right now is someone put the dollar and Bitcoin on the same chart. And back here from 2017, you can't see my mouse, but from 2017, you can see that when the dollar tops out, you can see it says start bull run 2017, right? The white line is the dollar and the candles are Bitcoin. Okay, so now when the dollar, oh, now you can see it. Perfect. When the dollar tops out like this, it signals a bottom of Bitcoin and it signals the start of a bull run. So now what we basically see is that Bitcoin is starting to, the dollar is starting to become very overextended to the upside. And when that has historically happened, it started the bull run in Bitcoin. So what we can see is back here, you can't see it on the chart, but back here in 2020, when the dollar topped out and made this pattern here with the dollar and Bitcoin, it signaled a bottom and the start of the bull run. So now, are we going to see a repeat of that? Is the third time a charm? Is that something that can repeat because history repeated itself also? That is yet to be determined. We basically need another $1.50 on the Dixie to see if this is going to start playing out, because that is when this trend line will be met. But regardless, as weird as the headline of the article was, that is some really, really interesting data. And we're definitely going to take a look at that. And it looks pretty interesting. We're going to have to take a look at that afterward. But basically, those two reasons have signaled bounces in Bitcoin. And this specifically for the dollar has signaled the start of a bull run. So for those two reasons, overall, for the next few months, will we continue being bullish? Not sure, but immediately, let's take a look at the charts. All right, let's take a look at the charts. My baby Bitcoin, I love you. All right, so a few things to look at here. Number one, So we see the Bollinger Band right here is starting to tighten. All right. So when the Bollinger Band tightens like this, so you can see the upper and the lower level of the Bollinger Bands starting to tighten, that signals that there should be an explosive move either to the upside or the downside very, very soon. All right. Because this is the daily chart of Bitcoin. You could see the upper level of the Bollinger Band really starting to close in here. When this happens, there should be an explosive move in either direction. What direction that's going to be at the moment, because Bitcoin is looking to close above these two candles here, and because the weekly candle of this week should be green, there's a good likelihood that we should be closing green and we should have a explosive move to the upside. One can hope, all right? So there's that. And number two, we saw that Bitcoin basically came back and retested the upper level of this zone here. Not perfectly at 38,000, but we hit a low of 38,210. So we held that level, bounced up $2,000, and now we're here at 40,150. So not everything is sunshine and rainbows. The only way we can continue to move upwards is we need a strong move very, very quickly. We need to close above 41,000. If we don't do that, because this MACD right here, it basically tracks the momentum of stocks, right? Because the MACD is showing such heaviness, all right? We can see the white MACD line barely moved upwards, even though Bitcoin made a strong move to the upside. That's showing that the MACD is still very, 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 very heavy. And the only way that we'll ever be able to continue to move upwards is Bitcoin needs to get its butt in gear, close above 41,000 ASAP. This MACD line will start to move upwards. And ideally now, the goal, what we want to see is this white MACD line to not continue to hug the blue MACD line. We want it to start skyrocketing upwards. So what's going to end up happening is once the white MACD line starts to skyrocket upwards, this blue signal line is also going to start really moving upwards and curling up. The reason why we want the signal line to start curling upwards is because we want it to cross above 0. Right now, we can see that it is at right here. If you look at this number right here, you can see that it's at negative 907. So once it becomes above 0, that means that the overall momentum of Bitcoin is bullish. It's positive, and things should continue moving upwards. So that is what we want to see. We want to see Bitcoin close above 41,000 freaking ASAP. Okay. And at the moment, it's not, things aren't completely sunshine and rainbows. All right. That's all I want you guys to understand. Once we can close above 41,000, and then we can close above 4150 and 42,000, that's when things are going to start looking a bit better. But for now, we did have positive price action in Bitcoin. We had positive price action in the stock market, but things aren't over yet. All right, so there's that for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the L1 tokens. All right, so obviously everyone is pretty green today. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum, obviously a really green day. Same concept. The Bollinger Bands are, tightening up. Had a green day where it looks like it's going to close pretty green. Looks pretty nice, right? Not much to talk about. Solana, same thing. We reversed off the lows. Not as green as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Could be doing better. That's fine. Not much else to look at. ADA, Cardano, same concept. Dot, not the best today. Dot, but Luna. Luna, folks, is single-handedly carrying this market at the moment. So Luna, in terms of L1 tokens, is doing the absolute best. So what happened is exactly what needed to happen. We came back, retested the 50% fib. We had a huge green day. And back here on April 18th, Luna was showing the most strength. We shot up 18% on this day when Bitcoin was red. Once Luna started to move upwards, let's just take a look at this real quick. April 18th. April 18th, what was Bitcoin doing? It was down here at 38. It was down below 39,000. Luna starts skyrocketing. Bitcoin started to follow. And that is why that's why we do analysis, and that's why we're taking a look at these coins as well, because they influence the price action of Bitcoin. The fact that Luna is doing so beautifully, this is a textbook bull flag right here on Luna. We came back, had a huge run up, came back, retested the 50% fib beautifully, and it looks like we're about to continue moving upwards, which is beautiful. This is textbook technical analysis right here, guys. And this is what we want to see. It makes me excited. So Luna is trading exactly like a bullish stock should be trading. Beautiful. All right. And it's a good sign for the rest of the L1 tokens, a good sign for Bitcoin. AVAX, same concept as the others. Algo, same concept as the others. Tron had a pretty good run up. It's, profit taking, so it's still outperforming. So Tron and Luna are basically still outperforming these other tokens. Near, not doing too hot. Phantom, I bought Phantom at 1 cent and sold it at 77 cents. And it ended up running to $3.30. Thought I was the smartest. But hey, man, trade is a trade. We're going to take a look at Phantom also because it's still an L1 token. It's still not doing too hot. Overall, what we see is that Bitcoin closed bullishly. We see that Ethereum is closing bullishly as well. And we see that Luna, which is the biggest winner, is also closing in a very, very bullish way. And if we quickly took a look at the funding rate on Bitcoin, when the funding rate is negative, when we have a red funding rate, which is what we currently have, those are beautiful dip buying opportunities. Those are when you start to buy more Bitcoin, when the funding rate is negative. And that is something that we currently have. Anytime in history, whenever the funding rate is negative, this is the daily chart. This is when you accumulate and buy into Bitcoin. And clearly right now we are in a negative funding rate. So good stuff. Overall, things look pretty bullish, but we need above 41,000, then 41.7, and then 42.8 for us to continue moving upwards. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for all of your support. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Follow me everywhere and have an amazing day. Thank you.